YouTube, it's Trev. Back to work for me. Not necessarily full-time yet, but I mean, things keep popping up every day. So I was just driving today. Gave me the opportunity to pop my headset in and listen to a Twitter space or two. And some time to maybe scroll through some tweets. Oh my goodness, you guys! I almost don't know what to say. I'm dismayed, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm feeling some kind of way, right? So much bitching and moaning and just whining. I can't stand it. I really can't. I can't take it. I don't know, and I've said this before and I call hell for it, but I don't care, right? It's how I feel. You participation award generation are so sensitive, right? Everything doesn't go exactly your way. If everybody isn't paying total attention to you and listening to everything you say and validating all your opinions and everything's going to be okay, you're right, if that's not what you're getting, you have a tizzy, right? You can't take it. Somebody didn't prepare you all for the real world. I don't know what bubble you've been living in, right? But people can be assholes, plain and simple. Not everybody's going to get along. Not everybody is going to share your opinion. Not everybody is going to feel like everything that comes out of your mouth and every thought in your head is miraculous, right? Not everybody's going to agree. People have their own perspectives on everything, right? And for those of you who feel like everybody needs to listen to my opinion and what I'm saying because what I'm saying is absolutely right, and how dare you block me, right? How dare you block me? What I'm saying is so important. Right? What I'm saying, it's so important. And you're going to block me? How dare you? Well, maybe somebody didn't want to listen to what you had to say. Maybe this all important and all true thing or stance that you have isn't what someone else has, but you will not just say, okay, I understand that you have a different perspective than I do, but I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. We can agree to disagree and try to find something in the middle. You don't understand about compromise. You don't understand about doing that. Everything has got to be your way. And listen, this is going out to everybody on all sides, right? All sides. Because, listen, I have a friendship. I have a relationship with some of these guys on this L1 task force, right? And, a lot of heat is coming down on Tobias. And everybody knows I like Tobias. Do I think he's right all the time? No. Do I think he's arrogant? Absolutely he's arrogant. In so many, he's next level arrogant, right? So what? So what? That's just his personality. That's just the way he is, right? Everybody's a different way, but a lot of you guys, it's unbelievable to me, right? That how can you not listen to me? How are you not understanding what I'm telling you? You're so wrong. The thing is, if you try to tell somebody something, be it Tobias or Lunkburn Army or whoever it is, you try to express your opinion and they don't agree with your opinion, you keep going and going and going. And you're just going to keep pushing your opinion until somebody is going to understand it and somebody's going to sway, go over to your way. You can't change people's opinions all the time. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. It's a matter of perspective. But what you guys don't realize is you're like, he blocked me. Why did anybody block me? Because, they should want to hear all these different, well, they heard it. They heard it. I've blocked people because I didn't want to hear the shit that they were saying because they said it and I tried to discuss it with them and they just wanted to keep pushing and pushing and pushing their agenda. And it's like, if you're not going to have an open mind and actually have a dialogue instead of this monologue that you're trying to shove down my throat, If you're not going to understand that I just do not agree with you, and that's okay, right? Then you're just being annoying now. So I don't really want that in my Twitter feed. And maybe that's why you were blocked. Maybe you couldn't just let it go. And maybe you really, really think that you're right. And that's okay. The person on the other side, they really, really think that they're right. And because none of us have a crystal ball, a lot of these things take time to play out and figure out who was actually right. But in the meantime, why do we have to be enemies? Why does it have to degrade into name calling and slander and all these other things? Because you're a bunch of freaking little babies. I don't give a shit if you get pissed at me or not. You're a bunch of little babies. I've never seen so many sensitive men in my life. I can't stand it, right? So what? You disagree. Just move on, right? Have your perspective. You're entitled to your perspective. But everybody else is too, right? You know, people are motivated by different things. Not everybody's motivated by the same thing, right? And this is something that I feel is like everybody knows, but maybe everybody really doesn't understand this. If you've never been in a position where you are an actual leader, a supervisor, or something like that, right, where you're actually in charge of keeping a project going or keeping a crew working or motivated or whatever, right, you might not understand this. So let me just give you a brief little example of what I'm talking about, right? Everybody knows, yeah, I'm in the construction industry. Okay, we've talked about that a million times. A lot of times there's, so we've got our main work that we do. We subcontract, we do the city work or whatever, and that's our main kind of job, right? But there's a lot of side things to do. People are constantly calling and saying, hey, I've got this to do, I've got that to do. I need a driveway excavated. I need a new water service to the whatever it is, right? And a lot of times, the only time to really do this stuff is either after work, which means we finish at 3. So sometimes we'll work until 8 o'clock or whenever it just gets too dark to do anything. Or maybe on the weekends. Saturdays, I always try to take Sunday off, but sometimes we might even have to work maybe 3 or 4 Sundays a year, right? And I know that my crew, now I need guys to help me do this work, right? This job. And I know my crew, if you know your crew, you know what motivates them. And you might have a guy who's motivated by money, right? Money is the deal. And so you'll say, hey, Peter, whatever, right? We've got some side work to do this weekend. Some things that got to get done, and I was wondering if you wanted to come in this Saturday. Is it under the table? What are you going to pay? How much is it? This is how this person is motivated. Peter's motivated by money, and so if I don't offer Peter, a decent amount for the day, he's going to be like, nah, it's all right. I'll pass, right? But if I, hit his number, he'll come in. He doesn't want to know what the scope of the work is. He doesn't want to know what the job is. He doesn't want to know how late we'll be working. He just wants to know how much he's getting per hour, right? I might go to somebody else, right? Fred, and ask Fred, hey, you want to come in this weekend, right? And Fred might say, well, I all I have are 2 days a week to spend with my family, Saturday and Sunday, because we're working all week long and, whatever the schedule, however the schedule is, these are the only 2 days that I have to see my kids, whatever, right? So with Fred, if I really need Fred to come in, I might say, listen, if you come in for me Saturday, I really need to get that job done. I may not need you on Monday. So why don't you take Sunday and Monday off, and if you'd come in for me Saturday, right? Because what Fred is motivated by is his work-life balance, right? He wants to make sure that he is giving X amount of time to his family. That's important to him. That's what he's motivated by, right? Then you might have Bobby, right? And Bobby's a machine operator, right? And Bobby, if you ask Bobby, he's the greatest machine operator in the world, right? And so Bobby's motivated by something different. And I might say, Bobby, listen, I got this job on Saturday. Can you come in for me? And, that might not be enough, right? If I want Bobby to come in, I'm going to tell Bobby like this. I'm going to say, listen, Bobby, I've got this job to do on Saturday. I need you. I could ask, Bill to come in and do it, maybe. But I really need you I need you on the job here because, we'll just get it done faster. And I know that I can trust you. I know I can rely on you. I know that you can get the guys working. I mean, you're my guy, right? I need you. That's how I motivate Bobby, right? Because he's motivated by praise, right? Acknowledgement, his ego. That's how he's motivated. Okay. And we can take any of those, and there are other examples I could give, right? But you get the point. And we could take any of those examples and maybe relay them to some of these guys that are on the L1 team or even just in the community. And because Zaradar is so in the limelight lately and catching so much flack. I mean, Zaradar is my Bobby, right? Yes, he is arrogant. Yes, he's got a huge ego. And yes, he thinks he's one of the best coders in the world. And he might be. I don't know. I don't know every coder in the world, right? Other coders may revere him and be like, yeah, that guy's really, really good. And some other coders might be like, they might have the same ego. I don't know how that works, right? But I know that when you're dealing with a Zaradar, what you do when he's, I've got this job and I got that job and I don't need you and I'm not negotiating. This is what I'm worth and blah, 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 right? How you deal with Zaradar is you say you are worth absolutely that. You really are. And we appreciate everything that you've done. You stroke his ego a little bit because now you're on his page, right? There are so many other ways to handle this stuff than the way you guys are handling it. Everybody just wants to be heard. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. And no one is willing to say, let me put it this way. And I may have said this before. I don't know. One of the hardest lessons that to learn in my life, right, was that there are other ways to achieve a goal besides my way. That was a very, very difficult lesson to learn because in my younger years, I was a Zaradar. I really, really thought that if only the whole world would just see things the way I do, everything would run so smoothly, right? How can everybody not just see the way I see it? And I'll be honest, I still feel that way sometimes. I feel that way a lot of the times. But what I had to learn was that even if I feel that way, it's not a valid thought. There are other ways to accomplish things. There are other perspectives. What's best for me and what works for me might not work for someone else. And the way that I see it might not be the way that someone else sees it. But ultimately, if we're all on the same page and we all have the same goal, and we're adults, we're not too sensitive, we can reach some sort of agreement, some sort of middle ground, and we can get things done. I made a video late last night, and I said that I had undelegated all my LUNC. And chances are, I'm going to pull it all. I'm probably going to sell it, maybe put it somewhere else. And the reason that I'm doing that is because what I just said to you, you guys haven't shown me that you're capable of doing. It is going to continue with this egotistical power grab struggle. Everyone listen to me because I know best on all sides. That's what's going to continue here. And as long as that keeps going, as long as that continues, you're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. One of my greatest joys in life is being able to look back at the end and say, told you so. I'm absolutely a told you so kind of guy. So I don't know, where are we going to be 6 months from now, a year from now? If we're where I'm saying we're going to be, I'll be so happy to get online and make a video and say, told you so, right? Wake up, everybody. Pull together. tuck your ego away in the closet somewhere. Work together. Give up some stuff, right? Doesn't all have to go your way. Let's try it this way. Let's try it that way. Well, what if we put them all together? What can we come up with? There's so many intelligent minds. What would happen if you all put them together instead of using them to slander each other and to tear each other down? I don't know. Just my opinion. All right, Joe. Talk to you later. Ciao.